Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. This will be another major update on major winter storm Ruth that will bring in blizzard conditions throughout millions out here into the Rockies, North Central Plains, and all the way up into the Midwest. We are forecasting up to 1 to 3 feet in some areas and then possibly higher in the higher elevations. So, definitely a major April winter storm. And also, happy April Fool's Day, guys. I hope you guys are all enjoying your first day of April. So, we're in on the fourth month, and we are seeing a monster system already on the first day of April. This is going to be rain snow for up here. Casper, Wyoming, Helena, out there near Aberdeen, Michelle, Minneapolis, possibly Valentine's, Denver, Duluth, even all the way to Marquette and Bismarck. So definitely millions to be affected by this, and it's going to start bringing its very heavy snow, a lot very widespread within the next 18 hours. But we're already seeing this snow happening as we speak, but not as widespread. We have windstorm warnings, windstorm watches, and winter weather advisories, and maybe we may have blizzard warnings in to be forecasted and to be issued throughout a couple of counties out here in the North Central Plains. But be sure to subscribe, guys, if you are new to the channel. Thank you so much for for letting me hit 2,080. Let's try to get to 2,100 by mid-April. Hopefully, we can do that. But without further ado, let's get this video. So here we are looking at the National Weather Service again. Here's our area of focus again in the kind of purplish blue color. That's where we have winter weather advisories. That's the lowest you can go other than a special weather statement, and that's where we'll be seeing possibly the least amount of snowfall out of this system depending on where you live, because again, for Yellowstone National Park near Montana, they probably might have 2 feet of snowfall, but winter weather advisories. It's all depending on really what your area and how much snow they get, but that's in effect throughout much of South Dakota, including Sioux City, Pierre, I believe Rapid Cities in the winter weather advisory. We have Michelle. We also have areas into far northwestern North Dakota, areas into much of eastern Montana, and also including including the western half of Montana for Helena and even Bozeman, Montana. We also have some windstorm warnings out here into north central Montana. Let's actually check out the areas. We have Stanford, Fort Benton, Lewistown, Harlem, and yeah, that's basically where we have those those winter storm warnings for northwestern North Dakota. We have Crosby and Willingston, and then that the winter storm let's actually check out here near again, we actually have Rapid City is actually just outside these winter storm warnings, but we have Custer, Spearfish, and also Sundance, Wyoming under winter storm warnings. Winter weather advisories also for Casper, Wyoming. And then for the windstorm watches here, we have Aberdeen, we have Devil's Lake, we have Grand Forks. Also, we have Fargo. They're actually under flood warnings as well. So they're under flood warnings and out there near windstorm watches. So we also have Detroit Lakes, Furious Falls, and Thief River Falls. So that's where we have really all our advisories and all these advisories, warnings, and alerts. So the next couple hours later today, here we're going to be seeing this small snowstorm that was bringing snow throughout the Rockies and higher elevations to get a lot bigger as over time, as this low pressure system does push in the western United States, bring that snow outside the mountains, and that's going to bring it towards the plains areas. So we're going to start seeing very heavy snow incredibly soon within the next couple hours out here into northwestern and North Dakota, and actually much of just general western North Dakota, and also some lighter snowfall on the other hand for Yellowstone National Park, out there near the Lewistown area. Billings could be seeing some snow flurries, and then as we get later into early tomorrow morning, this is going to be a monster system when we wake up. Definitely be seeing the worst of the snowfall for Casper, Wyoming, generally eastern Wyoming, and also western South Dakota. That's what we'll possibly seeing the best chance for blizzard warnings and the best chance for the heaviest snowfall. We will begin seeing the snowfall arriving to Salt Lake City, Casper, Wyoming, Cheyenne, even all the way into Yellowstone National Park, and Rapid City and Custer will be seeing incredibly heavy snowfall. And then we have this ice developing very early in the storm. Usually we have this ice developing within 25% of the storm. This is going to be happening right from the beginning, and it's not going to get any better. Again, as we now get later into the next 48 hours, this snow is going to be, the next 24 hours, this is going to be a lot worse because it's actually 24 hours behind on the European model. And again, here we have the low pressure system, and you can see how big and powerful this storm is. It doubles size, and it's going to bring snow all the way from southwestern Utah up to the border with Canada. Incredibly heavy snow for the whole state of Wyoming, almost all of South Dakota. Incredibly heavy snowfall arriving into Pierre. Very heavy and very dangerous ice threat developing in this actually freezing rain band will thicken by really 50%, and that's going to bring in a major power outage issues and travel issues out there into Grand Forks, Fargo, Aberdeen, Pierre, Michelle, and near Valentine, Nebraska. As we now go all the way into Friday, this system does not get any better. The ice band is almost as thick as the snow band, which is not something you see with every system. This is going to bring a ton of ice for Sioux City, Devil's Lake out there near Thief Falls, also including big cities like Omaha, Lincoln, Sioux City, and then seeing the lighter snowfall. That's going to bring in a lot of snow now for Bismarck, Pierre, Aberdeen, Grand Forks, North Platte, and Denver. And then it's going to continue to bring snow all the way by end of Friday into areas near northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now the next 18 hours for the GFS. Again, this is new 11 or new 10:30 update. Again, we'll be seeing that very heavy snow developing within South Dakota and Wyoming. That's where we'll be seeing the first of the major snowfall developing. That's going to be mainly for central Wyoming, where we'll be seeing the heaviest snowfall. So out there in the suburbs. And then seeing that snow developing for Rapid City, Custard, Spearfish, all these other areas outside of Rapid City. As in the next 24 hours, it completely looks like a different system that we will be seeing right now. Right now, this is what we're seeing. Next 24 hours, that's what we're seeing. It completely changes into like something we've really just acting like we aren't expecting this. Again, all the way from Canada all the way to central Utah. Very heavy snow again for Casper, Wyoming, Cheyenne, Logan, Utah, Pierre, now arriving into Nebraska and the tip, bringing that ice threat and freezing rain and sleet into the Minnesota border with North Dakota, including Fargo, Grand Forks. And the next 30 hours, it gets even worse, bringing blizzard conditions out here into northwestern Colorado, strengthening and snowfall out here into Bismarck, strengthening out there into Grand Forks. That sleet will turn into snow, and that's not good because since we have sleet, first it's going to freeze roads and freeze power lines and make it a lot easier to eventually stick, as same thing with freezing rain. But freezing rain will be first, of course, then sleet, then snow. And then that snow will be converting, that snow will actually get a lot heavier for Pierre now, Rapid City, Spearfish. And then within the next 42 hours, this does not get any better for the Dakotas or Nebraska. It becomes a lot more widespread. Possibly bring some sleet pellets and freezing rain pellets into now eastern Nebraska. Very heavy snow now into North Platte, Valentine. Really heavy snow for Pierre, Sioux City, Aberdeen, Michelle, much of I-20 really, and they're going to continue to strengthen the snowfall for now Devil's Lake, and not getting any better now for general western Minnesota, and it's actually going to continue to get a lot worse. We possibly even see a major ice threat for Minneapolis and maybe some power outages there, and then we could possibly maybe see that ice all the way up into Marquette. Now time to look at the NAM3KM model here. Let's actually check out the let's check out the Northwest again. The next 16 hours, seeing that really heavy snow again. It's going to really start really heavy. Here we have at 999 millibars. The heaviest of the snow will be developing into southwestern Wyoming and also general western Wyoming. As we now get in the next 20 hours here, it gets a lot bigger as you can tell. Seeing that snow getting heavier for Casper, Wyoming, and much of just general eastern Wyoming. Starting to see that snow developing all the way up to Pierre. We're seeing that snow just it's not really going to be that from the major system. It's going to be kind of just these bands splitting up, and that's going to bring in a lot of heavy snow into these areas. Now we'll be checking out the north central plains here again. The next 24 hours is going to be very different system. Seeing snow all the way up into now near Devil's Lake, and the main systems, the low pressures, and all the way down here. And here we have really the main system, you can say, and seeing the ice moving towards Valentine's, incredibly heavy snow now arriving to Pier. Starting to see some cloudy, maybe some sun popping up a little bit in Rapid City, and then I get more snow in the next 31 hours. Again, seeing that ice and freezing rain. Freezing rain is probably the biggest threat, other than snow, for the Dakotas. And then as we continue on, it's going to get a bit bigger in the next 40 hours. That's going to bring in blizzard conditions in multiple smaller bands with heavier snow continuing on for northwestern Minnesota, and that'll be it. Now let's check out snowfall totals here. Let's check out total snowfall. So total snowfall, we're going to be seeing, to actually check out the northwest first. It is showing, again, up to around 4 to 7 inches for Casper, Wyoming. We saw a good bit earlier today. And we'll be seeing again up to 7 to 12 inches for the northwestern part of Colorado. Seeing that scatter areas in Wyoming, again, that could be climbing up to 14 inches. And now time to look at what we'll be seeing now from the north central plains. Here we'll be looking out here into near Spearfish and Custard, South Dakota, up to 9 to 12 inches of snowfall for out there near Rapid City. Could be climbing up to 5 inches to 6. Pier looking like they can get 4 to 6 inches. And snowfall totals are a lot worse now for North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota. Averaging, you guys would be looking like you guys can climb up to 8 to 14 inches of snowfall. Just north of that, we'll be seeing it climbing up to 16 to 18 inches. Looks like Grand Forks, you guys will be seeing quite a bit of snowfall, seeing up to 12 to 14 inches in Grand Forks, 7 to 12 inches. Devil's Lake, 10 to 13 plus inches. Bismarck, 2 to 4 inches, and Minneapolis, so that you guys can get a trace as and really just a trace. And maybe just south of Omaha, we can be seeing the heavier snow, 2 to 5 inches climbing up there. Time to look at the European snowfall totals again. We will be focusing out here in the Yellowstone National Park area and also near Casper, Wyoming. That's what's seeing that snow developing really soon there. For southern Montana, up to really a general range of 3 to 6 inches, maybe higher elevation, or those closer to Wyoming border would be saying 7 to 9 inches. Really, the general Yellowstone National Park area will be seeing 5.5 to 7 inches of snowfall. Looks like Cheyenne, 1 to 3 inches, and up near Casper, Wyoming, 5 to 9 inches of snowfall. Now let's actually get out here into the Midwest here, and again. And the next really all the way up to Saturday, that's when the system will definitely finish, and that's what we'll be seeing up to 8 to maybe 10.5 inches out here into the Rapid City area, Custer, Spearfish. Let's say Pier will be we'll be seeing a good 5 to maybe, if you're in the western part of the city, climbing at the 9 to 11 inches. Let's say averaging a huge snowfall total difference between the models. Actually, that's a really big difference. Wow, that's an incredibly big difference between the GFS only showing maybe 1 to 4 inches. Looks like Bismarck's getting a lot more snowfall than the Europeans, showing up to 5 to 6.5 inches. Grand Forks, 2 to 3 inches, and now let's say Fargo climbing 9 plus inches. And let's say Devil's Lake, you guys can get very little snowfall, but really different on the GFS, of course. Let's actually check out the Northwest really quickly. Again, we'll be seeing 7 to 10 inches likely for Casper, Wyoming, and then south of that, we'll be seeing 14 inches left. Looks like Cheyenne, 2 inches left to come, maybe maximum 4. And then we'll see, again, those scattered areas in South Dakota. We'll have those scattered bands that will be seeing 8 plus inches, if not 11 plus inches of snowfall. Again, Pier will be in between that. Looks like Pier will be seeing 6 up to 12 inches. Yeah, that's a really big range, but this area really is surrounded by a lot of multiple bands. And looks like Sioux City, 3 to 5 inches. Valentine's, 2 to 3 inches. North Platte, 3, possibly 4 inches. Rapid City Custer Spearfish looking like a range of 5 to 9 inches. Fargo and up to the Grand Forks area will be rating from 11 to 14 inches. The snowfall here averaging 5 to 6 inches. Looks like Devil's Lake will be seeing 12 plus inches of snowfall. We'll be climbing up to 18 inches here. But yeah, that's what we're seeing here with the major windstorm Ruth. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage, and I'm hoping to have another update later today. Bye, guys.